last week was quite a dry one and went through the weekend, but this week we've seen a bit more of those rain chances, and we're going to enter a bit of a quiet period, but these low pressure systems right here are going to make their way in and continue to bring some rain here to the Northland. And we're going to really start seeing it as we get into the overnight hours going into Friday morning. A complex of storms is going to make its way through here into the Northland. It looks like it's going to mostly stay from around the Twin Ports north into northern Minnesota. This is where it's kind of lining up to most likely be right now, though all of us can see some rain in the overnight hours and some severe weather as well. There's marginal risk for the western parts of the Northland for there to be some damaging winds, through some large hail as well to keep an eye on as we get into the overnight hours. And that won't be the end of it. Look here, as we get to Friday into the evening hours especially, we see some more storm chances start to crop on in, and we're going to continue to see storm chances. And this one overnight, you can see here spreading as we go overnight Friday going to Saturday morning is a little bit more likely. The one this Friday evening is a bit more conditional. But if you do see some storms on Friday evening, well, we can see up to a slight risk of some severe weather. Again, not a very high risk, but it's a little bit more substantial. So we need to keep an eye against some storms bringing some damaging winds and some large hail. It looks like the tornado threat is going to be staying further off to the west. And when it comes to the rainfall, well, we can also see a bit of that too. And in fact, excessive rainfall will be possible. Marginal risk for the western half of the Northland as we go for tomorrow. Once we start to get into Saturday, it's going to shift eastward, but encompass even more here of the Northland. So we can see quite a bit of rain. And these systems are going to be bringing all of this rain here as we go through. Before it really starts bringing in that rain that we're going to see, it is going to start really drawing up that heat out of the south, and it is going to be humid. In fact, we're talking about dew points getting into the upper 60s, into the 70s as well. So it is going to feel very much muggy outside, and it is going to be hot one as well. Starting today, we're going to look at into the mid to upper 80s for a lot of us, potentially low 90s, though it is a little bit less chance that is going to occur. However, as we go into Friday, the chances for the low 90s increase, especially as you go south along the I-35 corridor eastward into northwest Wisconsin there. Northern Minnesota, depending on when those storms roll through, can change how warm it gets, but it is still likely to get very warm for all of the Northland. And in fact, we do see here the heat index going to be possibly pushing into the triple digits as well. This is why we do have those extreme heat watches in place for most of northwest Wisconsin and Pine County. And even with that, we're all going to feel the heat. Moderate to major impacts here, with the majors really getting in once you get into northwest Wisconsin. So when it's a moderate impact, that means, you know, if you're sensitive to the heat, you're definitely going to feel the impacts. But once it's major, that means all of us are going to feel it. So make sure you're staying hydrated and know how to stay cool when the warm weather really starts coming in. And finally, once we get to the weekend, it's going to cool down a little bit, but still be on the warmer side. We're talking upper 70s, getting well into the 80s for both days. And as we go for the next 6 to 10 day outlook, look at this. It looks like the above average temperatures are going to want to stick around for a bit as well. And when it comes to rain, though, once this band of rain moves out, or rain probabilities drop off, there's about a 10 to 20% chance. Usually as we get into next week, that means we're probably going to see some scattered showers some days as you start getting into next week. And now we're going to be looking at the winds. And the reason I'm showing you the winds here, because they're going to be shifting out of the northwest and west as we head to the end of the weekend into next week as we get that cold front to move through. And that's going to bring in some smoke out of the provinces here, that Canadian wildfire smoke. So it looks like it might make its return again a little bit far out, and we got to see how the rain impacts these fires. But just to let you know, that is a potential. We can see that wildfire smoke for Canada make its return next week. And you look at our 7-day forecast, just be ready for that heat today going into tomorrow, as well as those storms before the weather calms down a bit as we go later into next week.